After weeks of being on the quiet, the People's Democratic Movement, PDM, called a press conference earlier today, May 12th. Leader of the PDM, Douglas Parnell, addressed a number of issues.
One measure which is necessary and should be taken by the interim administration is to enforce the provisions of development agreements granted by former governments and collect the fees that were entitled to be collected under those agreements. Without reservation, however, we object to the notion that the sale of government assets, as anticipated by the Permanent Secretary of Finance in his budget communication, and we think that it is wrong towards the TCI people. In fact, Mr. Jones says, and I quote, "Several other measures can be considered to close this, including sale of assets and additional borrowing of about 45 to 50 million to finance the 2010-11 working deficit, existing deficits, shortfalls from the consolidated loan."
Parnell said he saw problems with past and the recent financial budget.
That they have been deficit budgets of 33 million, 38 million, 25.2 million, and 26.6 million respectively, or a total of $122.8 million. These amounts could have been managed more appropriately by a long-term loan that could have acted to smooth out the revenue inconsistencies that became a part of the economic downward spiral of TCI revenues. This mismanagement must be equally shared amongst HMG and TCIG.
The PDM leader also spoke on TCI tourism.
We also call on the government to produce the study conducted by the Tourism Working Group so that stakeholders can have an opportunity to comment before any laws are implemented. Our understanding is that a draft ordinance with radical changes to the tourism industry is contemplated by the interim administration. And while there may be good measures to look forward to, the lack of transparency in the process is troubling. Our economic lifeline cannot be placed in the hands of a few individuals to do as they like and act as they please. This is wrong. Nothing that can be legislated can take away from our own desires as Turks and Caicos Islanders to welcome people to our shores.
We'll have more of the press conference tomorrow, where you will hear from Deputy Leader of the PDM, Clarence Silver, on the recent health care issues. For WIV4 News, I'm Takara Bain.